Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to speak about this trend in society these days of being really nonchalant and cold and invalidating and just general lack of empathy. I've even noticed this a lot in the spiritual community as well. Literally is everywhere in every community. I know that there are safe spaces and more nurturing spaces that exist, of course, but it legitimately is a trend. And something that's always not felt right to me. And there's been times in my life where I've even conformed to this trend because it just it is a trend. It's what everyone else is doing. So especially to someone really young, when I was 18, I just thought oh, okay, this is just how it's supposed to be. I need to change myself to fit this attitude and to fit others' expectations of me as well. And I'm sure that a lot of you have also experienced this feeling. And yeah, this society has really pushed this narrative of being nonchalant and not showing feelings too much. And there's also just this huge avoidance to actually supporting people properly. It's just this rampant dismissal of expression of emotion. And I do understand that, of course, there are times where people are expressing their emotion in an unsafe and unhealthy way, which can feel very unsafe to deal with. And yes, we do need to be self-aware humans and take accountability for our own stuff and not project onto other people. But I just feel that the majority of people have really just gone so far into this polarity of nonchalance and just lack of empathy and actual genuine care for other people in our communities. So I, as always, wanted to shed a light on this particular topic because that's what I like to do. That's what I do over here on this channel, is I like to shine light on the things that not a lot of people are speaking about. I have always been someone who is naturally quite emotionally expressive. When I'm feeling really positive about something or towards someone, I have always really enjoyed showing that. And it's also been the same when I'm feeling something negative. And I just want to make it super clear that that is not a bad thing at all. Some people are more naturally like that, and some people are actually less emotionally expressive, and that's fine. That is okay. But I just feel what the issue is here is that everyone is trying to conform to being less emotionally expressive, which is causing a huge suppression within the collective. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. But yeah, I've just noticed this huge resistance and avoidance towards emotional expression. We should have the freedom to be authentic. Yes, we all need to learn how to become more emotionally intelligent and secure within ourselves, but that doesn't mean we should tone down our expression. That doesn't mean that we need to tone down our emotions. In fact, being a securely attached person has everything to do with being able to hold emotion on the full spectrum of emotion. So being secure is actually learning how to be able to handle emotions, not avoid them. As soon as anyone is avoiding emotion or expression of emotion, that is avoidant attachment, and that is insecure attachment. It is not secure attachment, you know? So, like, as a collective, we really need to learn how to hold space and how to also express our emotion again in healthy ways, and just create more safe spaces for emotions to be seen, heard, and felt. That is something I feel very strongly about, and I am going to create spaces like this as well. And if that's something that you're interested in, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, stay in the loop, because I am going to be creating spaces like this online, in person, just for people to actually be able to share and express their raw emotions without feeling like judged or like they're being too much. Because this whole thing around people being too much, it's honestly like, it's dead. Like, can we please just leave that in the past? Every single one of us as humans experiences the full range of emotions. And if we're not experiencing the full range of emotions, it's because we've become so conditioned to suppress these emotions, and essentially that means we're not living the full human experience. I don't know what you believe in, but I personally believe that we come into this world, into this human experience, to experience the full range of the human experience, you know, and that includes every single emotion that we have the opportunity to feel here. And some of these emotions absolutely are really painful and difficult to experience. But I love this quote, and I'm not sure who it's by. If you know, please comment down below. But the quote goes like, wishing for a positive experience is a negative experience, but accepting a negative experience is a positive experience. So when it comes to the journey of healing and becoming more in tune with our emotions, it actually becomes a positive experience to express and feel negative emotions. Because when you actually allow yourself to feel them, or allow yourself to express them around someone who can actually hold space and actually cares, that is like such a pure, beautiful, magical experience. And that is what actually alchemizes these emotions. Because essentially, if we are just suppressing the emotions constantly, these negative emotions are not going away when we suppress them. They are just being shoved down like deeper into our being, just waiting to be expressed and explode, you know, later on, and probably in a much more destructive way. So emotional alchemy and healing essentially is when we actually just allow ourselves to feel the feeling and feel it to the full capacity that it needs to be felt. Because by doing that, like, that is what actually clears the emotion out of our being and our energy. That is what alchemy is, you know, it transforms it into something else. So we're actually like freeing ourselves from that heaviness finally, you know. Whereas yeah, when we're suppressing it, we're actually just pushing it further into ourselves. And so doing this type of alchemy, like, don't get me wrong, it is not an easy task, but it is so rewarding. And like, to be fully embodied in our wholeness of our beings and our humanness is like seriously just one of the most powerful things we can do in this lifetime. Because for hundreds and thousands of years, people have been taught that they need to suppress their emotions, conditioned into this society for a long time. And so it's not an easy experience when we go on this journey, and it can be very difficult because we are not only healing for ourselves, we're also healing for our ancestors and the collective of humankind in general. So it is so worth it. We will never understand or get to see the full potential of our being, of our life, if we don't do this work. And that is why it's so important and so, you know, kind of urgent. And again, coming back to the original point that I was making, it's like also so important that we learn how to also hold space for others when they are going through this process as well. So like when we hold space for another person who's experiencing difficult emotions, I just want to mention that it is actually normal to have a feeling of resistance come up towards it, you know, a feeling of avoidance, because that is what has been conditioned into us. So like when that feeling comes up, just recognize that that's normal. But the key to holding space is actually to not like react or act on that impulse to like run away or be avoidant. It needs to actually just like drop the ego and be like, okay, I'm going to just be present and listen to this person and what they're going through and how they're feeling. And you know, this is a practice. It's not something that is going to be easy because we have been so conditioned to avoid our own pain and also the pain of others. And it is like this whole trend within all types of communities, but even the spiritual community. I've noticed that a lot, and we need safe spaces and safe people where this type of connection and healing and alchemy can take place. There's a really powerful quote by Carl Jung, and he says that if we think about the self as an iceberg, right? So an iceberg, as you're probably aware, there's only like a very small percentage of the iceberg that is sticking up out of the water. And you know, the other like 70 to 80% of the iceberg is actually underneath the surface. And so the way Carl Jung puts it is that before we do shadow work, before we dive into those depths of our being, like we will like never see the full potential of who we are. We will only ever see that like top, like, you know, 30% or whatever it is. And we'll just continue having this shallow existence. But actually doing the work and going into the shadow and into those parts of ourselves that we avoid, that is what allows us to actually become the fullness of who we're meant to be in this lifetime. So that is the message that I have today. Again, I am really excited to start holding spaces for people to express and be seen in their more taboo emotions. I haven't quite yet figured out how I'm going to do this, but I have like, you know, different visions of like different ways that I can do this, and I absolutely will be doing this. So yeah, if it's something you're interested in, please comment down below. I'm also going to be opening up spaces to work one-on-one with people, just general guidance of how to like navigate these types of journeys. So yeah, stay tuned if that's something you're interested in. And yeah, I hope you're having a beautiful day or evening, whatever it is for you right now. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.